We're here today with Neil Welsh, who is the Chief of Cybercrime and Money Laundering, Anti-Money Laundering at the UN Office on Drugs and Crime. And Neil has been very kind to speak to us today about the relationship and the interaction between cybercrime, money laundering, and the opioid crisis to better inform the UNODC opioid strategy. So thank you very much, Neil, for taking this time.
My pleasure.
And we have a couple of questions for you that we would be very appreciative if you could kind of guide us through the process. So speaking about the money moving around it and those kind of innovative interventions, if we can call them that, your work as Chief of Cybercrime and Money Laundering section at UNODC, how can UNODC's work in this area support member states that are trying to address these new challenges that, we're not looking at the borders that we see here behind us, but more of those cyber borders. So what can the work of your section do to help member states?
Another great question. So I think we fit across lots of different areas here. We look at the policy side, so really helping member states to get their policies in the right place. We start to look at there are really highly challenging cyber criminals that are often referred to as advanced persistent threat groups, APT groups. Some of these groups are closely aligned with member states, so they may be operating with the tacit approval of a member state or for and on behalf of a member state, and operating in that grey area between crime, intelligence, military, state-based activity, lots of stuff around that. So we're already working with the Secretary General's office in New York to try and understand, well, how does the UN take action on this? What is our role in this space? How do we help to keep cyberspace safer? And what do we as an organisation do to try and manage some of that risk and build confidence in that? Taking that to the next layer, you then look at those investigative techniques that we've talked about the darknet, about looking at cryptocurrencies. And again, we can look at regulation. What would member states do if they wish to regulate cryptocurrencies? Now, the overall international recommendations come from a body called FATF, the Financial Action Task Force, or FATF. They'll be presenting regulation recommendations on cryptocurrencies in the next month or two. And what we're doing is we've already prepared some guidance to help member states put those in place. And at the same time, we've made sure that we have good investigative capability for countering cryptocurrency abuse and misuse by criminals and by terrorists. So that means that we've brought together key players from around law enforcement from around the world. We now have guidelines, investigative support guidelines, where we're helping countries to investigate cryptocurrency-based criminality. And in fact, some of my staff right now are investigating or mentoring, helping to mentor the investigations of everything from kidnap to terrorism to drug trafficking using cryptocurrencies. So it's really looking across that piece: politics, policy, strategic objectives, tactical opportunities, and bringing our niche capabilities by having the right people in the right place at the right point in time to do something.
Thank you very much, Neil, for taking the time to speak with us and for explaining to us how the darknet and cryptocurrencies and those new challenges can really be addressed by member states who are facing the challenges posed by synthetic opioids, or the opioid crisis, and other emerging challenges.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you.